Guys, Jordan here on day 8, Suboxone withdrawal. It's about 9 in the morning, and I woke up feeling so physically good today. Yesterday was probably the worst day 7 for me. Um, I didn't, Yesterday morning was pretty rough. I think part of the fact why I felt so bad yesterday was the fact that I took a charcoal pill, which I didn't know sucked up everything in your stomach. So I think it sucked up all the supplements and everything that I took. Um, so I think that's why I felt so bad yesterday. So don't take charcoal pills. I just thought they were for detoxing your body, which they are, but don't take them. Just don't ignore the charcoal pill thing. I'll give you guys a little bit of update, and I'm gonna maybe tell you guys a story after I update you how I'm feeling. Depression is pretty good today. Like mentally, I feel okay. Trying to see what else. Oh, last night I slept for 6 hours. I woke up 2 times just to kind of roll over. My back was hurting or something. So sleep was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, yesterday was not super great. It wasn't awful. I mean, I wasn't sick. I was very sore and fatigued. So, I mean, it's nothing I couldn't handle, but it was the worst day. Um, but I'm hoping that maybe today, because the supplements and everything, maybe my withdrawal will be shorter. You never know. I know it's different for everyone, but I am only hoping. Trying to stay positive. Um, Thanks for all the wonderful feedback and stuff, guys. It means a lot. I was kind of slacking on the videos for a while because I was being depressed and weird and doing a lot of stuff with having to deal with a lot of stuff. But so, kind of a little bit about what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Kind of just like how I got where I am and like a little bit about why I wanted to get clean. So last night I had a dream um, about one of my friends. So I'll get into that in a second. Not this past August, so about a year and 2 months ago, I was heading to work. I was heading to work, and I had just got some dope before I went to work because I couldn't be sick. And the dude's like, "Oh, it's fire, it's so good," and I'm like, "Whatever, no, it's not." And I like looked at it, and I thought it was just garbage because it usually was from this person, and ended up being not and not garbage. And I was in a gas station parking lot, and I pulled out to a red light, and right after I had done it, and at the red light I nodded out and stopped breathing. My foot was on the brake. I was the first person at the light, and I guess after a couple light changes, cars are driving by me. One guy actually saw me, slumped over and blew, and he pulled me out of my car, and there was a nurse on scene who gave me CPR until the cops came, and they gave me naloxone, and that was probably like my fourth overdose. It's really scary to think about for me because it's just weird because I was so terrified of needles. Like, I hated needles. I would freak out and like almost faint when I got my blood drawn, but it's just the things that I did and the person that I turned into and my morals, and it's just insanity. But so on that day, on August 10th, I overdosed at 6 p.m. And I had a couple friends who I used with. And my ex, before this did heroin for probably a couple years, and I never did it. I hated it, and I thought it was the worst thing ever. Eventually, I did pills, but eventually I was like, I'm gonna see what all the hype's about, and I'm gonna try this, you know what I mean? And I did, and I got hooked. But there's this one kid that I met. His name was Eric, and I ended up staying with him for a while. I didn't really have anywhere to go for a little bit, and he let me stay with him. He lived with his grandma, and we were just friends, and we hung out, and we did stupid stuff together, and watched movies, and we did drugs. That's what we did. And we'd have times where we would both be trying to get clean, and we'd have times where we'd block each other and not talk to each other because we knew if one's trying to get better, and we'd fight just stupid drug things, but he knew a lot about me, and I knew a lot about him, and he was just struggling, and like I was, and I don't want to cry in this video, and I'm gonna try not to because I'm a badass and I don't cry. No. So that day on August 10th when I overdosed, he was at home, and he lived with his grandma, and his grandma was at work, and she worked third shift. And he overdosed too on the same day, but he didn't have anybody there to find him. So his grandma came home the next day, and she found him. And the next morning, I was sitting with my little brother on the couch, and I never listened to the scanner, and for some reason I was listening to the scanner, and I heard them say, on the scanner, 26-year-old male or 25-year-old male, class 5, and they said apartment 6. And I knew that his apartment was apartment 6, and I didn't know what class 5 meant. And I wasn't allowed to take my car, because I had just overdosed in it on a major road. So my dad just kind of took it from me, And I was begging someone to please give me a ride to his house because I was thinking, it might not be him. If it is, I just want to make sure, no one knew. No one could tell me what class 5 meant. And so I drove over there, and I called his phone, and there was no answer. And I checked his Facebook, and he hadn't been on. And I got there, and I saw them wheeling him out in a body bag. And I didn't know if it was him, and I ended up asking, his grandma. I said, "Who is that? Can you please tell me who that is?" I was freaking out. And she looked at me, and she was heartbroken. She's like, "It's Eric." And I don't really remember the rest from there. A couple days before that, we got in a fight over drugs, and he texted me the day before I overdosed. And he always said, yo, like with a million O's. He said, yo. And I said, what do you want? And he said, I just want to talk. And I said, don't hit me up ever again. And that's the last thing I said to him, and he never replied to me. He never said anything else to me, and I never said anything else to him. So, that's when I decided that I was gonna get clean and tell his story, and the fact, I don't know. I have this guilt, I know it wasn't my fault that he died. I know that. I know. But, he would ask me for help, like, how did I get into these rehabs and stuff. And, I would usually ignore him, because I was working on trying to get clean, and I have this guilt, like, why did he die on that day, and why did I live, because, coroner, when they did the autopsy, when they found him the next day, said that he had probably died on the 10th, and he was found on the 11th. So I just feel guilty, I guess. And I never got to make up to him. I never got to help him. Sorry. I had to blow my nose. I never got to talk to him again in person, I still talk to him, but yeah, so it right after he died, a couple months later I got on Suboxone. So I never really dealt with the fact that he died, maybe, or my emotions were numbed and suppressed from the Suboxone. I don't know, but all of a sudden, I've just been really upset, and I'm a really spiritual person. Like, I believe in mediums, and I believe that, there's really no such thing as death. It's just kind of a thing that humans created. I believe that we're a soul and we have a body. We are just in a body as a vehicle until we move on, and we're here to learn what we're supposed to learn. And I don't know exactly everything, but that's kind of the base of what I believe. And what's kind of bothered me the most is the fact that I kind of wanted to know that he was okay, because I never really had anybody close to me die. I never had to deal with it, and at the time I didn't believe these things. Religion, not really religion, but like believing in life after death was like believing in Santa Claus. It was fantasy to me. And I was laying on my bed. I was living at my dad's at the time, and I was upstairs, and I was up there by myself, and his brother had just met me and given me a bunch of his clothes and was a couple hoodies and hats and like his NA book and just a few things, you know, which of course was so hard to go through, you know, and I still really didn't believe that he was gone, you know. Um, and I was sitting on my bed and I was a wreck. I was crying and I was like begging him to let me know that he was okay because I was so worried thinking about him not being okay, you know? And I was sitting on my bed and I had my glasses on. And I looked over and it was probably about maybe not even a yard away from me and my mattress was just on the floor. I didn't have like, so I was pretty close to the ground. And I was saying, can you, like, begging him for a sign, you know, to help me get through because I was really a wreck. I was kind of suicidal, you know, I was coming off of drugs. It was a really hard time. And on the floor, when I asked for a sign, was a, you know how like when blacktop or cement or something gets really hot in the summertime, you know how it's like the waves, like kind of like heat waves, it started coming up from my floor. And I sat up, you know, and I wiped my eyes and I took my glasses off and, you know, to make sure like there wasn't a tear on my glasses or tears in my eyes making things look foggy. And it was right in that spot on my floor. I saw like a heat wave, like a figure of a heat wave, no distinct features, you know, but and I said out loud, I said, you know, I sat up and I was like, adrenaline was going and I stopped crying and I said, Eric, is that you? And it got like stronger, like vibrated stronger and was there for about maybe 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. And I went away. And I believe that that was him trying to tell me, you know, that it was okay. Or, I mean, I know our mind creates what we want to see. I don't know. But anyways, last night, because I'm really into like trying to lucid dream and meditate and like read my dreams, and it's been really hard for me to do that on Suboxone. It was like one of the main reasons I wanted to get off was to be able to meditate deeper and fuller, you know, without anything in my system blocking that. So I went to sleep last night and I dreamt about him all night long. And like I had a dream the first time, and I was sitting down with him, talking to him, and he was telling me how it was for him now. And I wrote it down here. He because I knew I would forget when I woke up. I was asking him all these questions, like what it was like to die, and he said it's the same as here on Earth, yet it's different. And he was explaining to me that you have to develop and awaken once you die, whatever, you know, pass over. You have to develop and awaken like you do here on the other side. And I asked him if it was scary and like what it looked like or something, like was it bad, you know, and he said mostly good, but you know, there's some bad just like here on Earth. And I asked him, why can't I see him? Like, him, actually him, was one of the last things I asked him, and he said, you can. That's all. He just said, you can. And I woke up. And I woke up for a while, and I was like, thinking about it, and got up for a little and sat here, and then I went back to sleep. And I had another dream about him. This time we were talking on the phone, but it was almost as if he didn't know he had died. We didn't really talk about death. We were just talking on the phone. But in my head, like, I knew he had died, and I remember it was like snowing outside. I don't know. It was really nice that I had that dream, because I've been waiting over a year to have a dream with him in it. My gosh, I keep crying. And I think that the Suboxone had a big part in me not being able to fully get in touch with that. I mean, these are my beliefs, whatever. I know everybody has different thoughts and whatnot, but those are mine, and that's just kind of my little jumble chop around story of what really got me here to get clean, and kind of, just a little about Eric. And he was a really good kid. He wore, like, he was a hunter, and he wore, like, the skater van shoes and DC hoodies and camo, and I'm not into hunting because I'm an animal freak, but that's what he liked. He liked being in the woods, and he got mixed in with drugs, and he was one of the ones that lost his battle. He unearthed drugs. So I need to work on, maybe trying to get over the guilt a little bit, or whatever the feeling is that I have for it. I don't really know. Just sad, overall sadness about it. But that's what I'm dealing with on day 8 today. Sorry I cried through the whole video. And I look like shit. And I'm sweating. Is my doggy over there? Yeah, there's my doggy. Sleeping, being so cute. Bella, say hello. She lays with me when I'm sick. So, really, that's about all I got for today. I'm planning on going to the gym and signing up. Officially signing up. I know I probably said this in other videos, but I haven't got to do it. But I'm going to go sign up and sit in the sauna and work out, since I do feel good today. But yeah, that's today's little update, little story while I cry on camera like a weirdo talking to myself. I'm just happy that I did this, I'm happy that I can finally be free from Suboxone. There's not a day that goes by where I am not 100% thankful that I'm an addict. It taught me so much about life, so much about myself, and just try not to. My thing for the day is, just try to be positive and just kind to people, because you just don't really know what they're going through, and you just don't know. You don't. And that's all I got. I will update you guys tomorrow. I know this video is super hella long. Hang in there, guys, and have a lovely day. Bye.